All right, it is Wednesday, October 29th. I am here with Sunny Hostin. Hello, Sunny.
Hi, Brian.
I love your suit here.
It's so comfortable.
It looks great.
It's like, I think it's Barney.
Oh.
Like all of our staff, they're very interested in this brand. But I will tell you that it's like high-end sweatsuits, and they're really comfortable.
It looks great.
Yeah.
You're in your weekend gear right now.
I am. It's the weekend view today.
We did, but first we talked. We did the regular show, the live show, and we had a really interesting one, I thought, and we had some interesting guests. We had two really good ones, including Colin Farrell, who's not on the show that often, but everyone seemed quite taken with him.
Well, he's incredibly interesting and complicated and sexy. I find him sexy because he's so interesting and has lived,
I'm always interested.
Lived, that's Colin.
I'm always interested in the people that you guys all kind of get taken with together because you all have different types.
It's an accent also.
An accent does a lot of it.
The Irish accent is hot.
Yeah.
So Joy was particularly taken by him, but I think it was because of the gambling discussion, because he's in this new movie playing a gambling addict, and Joy's dad was a gambler, had a gambling addiction. So I think she was just trying to figure it out. And then he was very profound.
He was insightful, and she loves somebody who's been through therapy.
Yes, and he says he's done a lot of therapy, but he said some really interesting things, and I was intrigued by that. I like a smart, complicated guy.
You do. He's a bit of a bad boy, which is not usually the way you go.
In my 20s, that was my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so a reformed, sexy, accented bad boy who's complex and smart, yeah.
You kind of married a good boy. I'm just going to throw that out there.
I did. I married a good guy.
Yeah.
But who's complex, complicated, very smart, very well traveled, and foreign.
It's always interesting because as we know, it's a table of different perspectives and views.
Yeah.
And that goes to the men also. I feel like often I'll go on a commercial break and two of you be like, oh, he's really cute. And two of you are like,
Yeah.
But this time,
there was a consensus.
Yes, it's rare.
Colin, come back.
Yeah. He was really interesting too, I thought. And the other thing we talked about on the show today was politics, of course.
Yes.
And we went right into this conversation about the autopen and the legality of it. That seems to be making so much news. You were calling it a nothing burger.
It is.
What made it interesting to me is different than whatever Donald Trump is saying on any given day.
Yeah.
Speaker of the House is getting into this too.
Yeah.
This is coming from the Oversight Committee.
How about the fact that the Attorney General is looking into it? I mean, it's just such a clown show, you know? Like, it's almost like all of them are like driving in a clown car and they keep on getting out and keep on getting out. And the autopen thing, as a lawyer, it's been used since 1803. I mean, Thomas Jefferson used it. There's nothing to see here. I can't, and it's so obvious to someone that has worked at the Justice Department that there is actually like an office of pardons. Like there's an office that looks at pardons, and they vet everything and make suggestions to generally, Trump, I don't think uses the office appropriately, but most presidents do that, and they know. And there's nothing in the Constitution that says they can't use the autopen, and it just doesn't make sense to me why they would be focusing on this, other than it being a distraction from the shutdown, from the Epstein files, maybe from some kind of weird dealings that are going. I think it's also the Venezuelan stuff. It's the bailout, the $40 billion bailout, things like that. It's just sort of like a shiny thing.
Well, it does often seem like they're throwing stuff up against the wall to see what catches the public, and whether it's talking about the ballroom or and listen, we're doing it every day.
And if you notice,
talking about a third term,
they don't want to talk about the ballroom as much now because the American people are ticked off about the ballroom. So now all of a sudden it's the pen, the auto pen. See, I think it's a diversion.
Now, for those who aren't paying attention to the story, the allegations that President Biden had no idea what was going on, that people around him were making decisions and signing with a pen, and he didn't know who he was pardoning, and he didn't know what declarations he was making or executive orders or anything like that. And they're deciding that these things could be all nullified.
Yeah, and it's just they're not going to be nullified.
Right.
It's not true. He went through all of the proper protocols and processes, which Donald Trump doesn't. And all he has to do legally is say, no, I was aware of who I pardoned. And then it's over. So it's really, I think what's frustrating to me as well is that it's this weaponization of the Justice Department that I loved so much and served. And it's using these lawyers, especially the career prosecutors. I don't think that they're doing a lot of this stuff, but it's just misusing their talent. And it's sort of despicable and disappointing, I think.
If you were not on television and you were still working as a prosecutor for the federal government, what do you see yourself doing in these situations?
I would be raising hell. I mean, I probably would get fired. But there's no way that I would present something to the grand jury that I didn't believe I could prove beyond a reasonable doubt. There's no way that I would be investigating the use of the autopen. I mean, it's almost malpractice and unethical. So I would probably get fired is my guess. I mean, I was one of those prosecutors. I don't believe in the death penalty. I was one of those prosecutors that went to the chief of my unit and said, I cannot participate in a case where, the recommendation of the office is going to be the death penalty. It's not
I
something
didn't know that. I know you personally believe it, but I didn't know you weren't able to.
It's not something that I can do.
Oh, interesting.
So I'm one of those people. Yeah. If you got to stand up.
Yeah. And you probably can't do your job very well if you don't believe in something, I would think.
No, you've got to be ethically really, your moral compass as a federal prosecutor, because it's such a powerful position, really needs to be in the right place, I believe.
I just referred to this briefly, but after a week of headlines about a third term, President Trump today came out and said, it's pretty clear he can't run for a third term.
Yes.
Now, do you think, what do you think happened here?
I was shocked. I mean, Jonathan Karl was on our show yesterday, and he said that Trump had told friends that he wasn't going to run for a third term. But then when we spoke to Justice Sotomayor, she said, well, it hasn't been tested. And so I was inclined to believe that maybe, and then Steve Bannon also said that there's a plan in place. So I'm still on the fence on that. Like, I don't, he lies a lot. I mean, I don't know how many lies that have been documented. It's got to be over 20,000. You guys can check that. But it just seems to me that I can't take what he says at face value.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
The big headline of the day today is Hurricane Melissa. It's brought utter destruction to Jamaica yesterday, and it made landfall as a Category 5 hurricane. It's
one of the biggest hurricanes in history.
It's the strongest in the island's history, and the Prime Minister has declared the country a disaster area. Yeah. Today, it hit landfall in Cuba and is now a Category 2, which is still very serious. Yeah. We saw the destruction and suffering that happened in Puerto Rico with Hurricane Maria. I know you've seen a lot of it up close.
I did. I was reporting from Puerto Rico, and it was one of the hardest things I've ever covered, and it was one of the hardest things to see, especially an island that I grew up going to. Yeah. And that I was actually just there 3 weeks ago. So it was, and it's recovered, but those were really, really hard times. And my best friend is Jamaican, as you know, Regina, and she has family there. Not necessarily in the parish that was hit the hardest, but there, and there's no communication right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, what should people know about what the people on these islands are dealing with in these situations?
It's terrible because there's no electricity, there's no power. So think about the fact that there are no cell phone towers, so you can't get in touch with your loved ones. It's hot, it's buggy. There are there are floods. Landslides, cars are inundated with water, homes are inundated with water. I think there were, in Jamaica in particular, and I've been there many times, there were 800 shelters, and there were only about 15,000 people that went to the shelters. So it's a beautiful island, but it has hills, it has beaches. The geography, I think, would make it very, very difficult for search and rescue efforts. And so these people are, and what about aid? How do they get food? Yeah. I think, I'm prayerful and I'm faithful that, there will be people that recover from this, much in the way that Puerto Rico did. But I think there are going to be some pretty hard times.
Well, hopefully let's put something up on our website and make sure people can know where to go to be able to donate and help. And something we'll be talking about on the show, I'm sure, as we move forward. changing gears a little bit, Michelle Obama, one of our favorite people in topics, she's on the cover of People magazine, and she opened up about a few things. She said her life now as an empty nester has allowed her for the first time to make decisions just for her.
Yeah.
Do you relate to that? Because it's been a roller coaster, your empty nest experience.
It has been.
Yeah.
You know, I will tell you, and I've told you this before, like, I don't feel like people talk enough about the empty nesting thing. You know, we talk about parenting all the time and the college process, but we don't talk about what happens when your nest is empty. We just don't talk about it, and your life transition. So when Gabriel left, I was okay, left for college, because one, he came back a lot, and two, I had Paloma in the house for another 3 years. So it was amazing. But then when he graduated and then Paloma left, we were alone. in a very large nest that was too empty. And we sold our house, moved, and I've got to tell you, I love it right now.
That's great.
But it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, Paloma's a sophomore. It's amazing. We're redecorating, and I'm not asking anyone anything. Like, I used to have to say, like, Paloma, what do you want? And, you know, Gabriel, what color do you want to use? It's amazing. I'm picking out things with feathers and jewels, and Manny doesn't care, and it's amazing. I put my leftovers in the refrigerator. They're still there the next day. Gabriel's not eating everything. I have fashion explosion going on in my closet. Paloma's not stealing my
Stealing
stuff.
all your stuff, right.
It's just amazing. It's very freeing. Like, we've gone on trips every Thursday night, and we've traveled with our friends. We're going out to dinners. It's a beautiful.
It took you a minute to get here, but it seems really good.
It took me like a year and a half, actually. But I'm there. It's great.
Oh, that's terrific.
Yeah,
that's terrific.
It's pretty special.
Michelle also talked in this article about her sense of style, and which is something she's known for.
She's got great style.
And she said she learned about style as a kid watching Soul Train, which I love.
Oh, wow, yeah.
I know that style is important to you.
It is. I love fashion.
I know you do. It makes you really happy.
It does.
And where did your sense of style come from? Has it evolved in recent years, or has it always been pretty steady?
It's been pretty steady, except it's gotten more elevated because I can afford different things. But I always bought vintage, and I would buy vintage wonderful designers. I was reading Town and Country, Vogue, and Vanity Fair, and Essence, and Ebony magazine.
At what age? Like, when was this?
Oh, 6.
Oh, wow. Like, okay,
6,
that's crazy.
7. I'd like to look.
6, 7.
I like to look through the pictures, you know, and I would earmark things that I liked. And I've kept a lot of them, and I don't know that my style has changed that much.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, and I can afford now some of the things that I liked then. And I do look at people like Anna Wintour.
Right.
Jackie Kennedy is a big fashion icon of mine.
And you do like those classic staple things.
I do.
Yeah.
I like beautiful things. As you know, there was a Barbara Walters had an estate sale, and I have 2 Barbara Walter coats.
I saw you wearing one the other day.
Every time I wear them, people are like, "May I ask you where you got that coat?" And I say it belonged to Barbara Walters.
It's amazing.
I love saying it.
That's so cool.
She has had really beautiful clothing. Yeah, I think fashion is in a way of expressing yourself in a way, you know. It's almost like Devil Wears Prada, where, you know, you think you're exempted from the fashion industry, but you're really not.
No, you're a product of it.
You're a product of it.
Absolutely.
And there are people in a room that know fashion really well and pick it out. But now I get to go to like Sergio Hudson's fashion show.
Right.
And Tom Ford invited me to a
I
fashion
was going to say
show.
Sergio Huston's dressed you on more than one occasion.
He's dressed me. Tom Ford has dressed me.
That's
It's
amazing.
been a really crazy thing that's happened because of this show. That it's an honor to
great.
be able to like indulge myself in something that I've loved since I was a kid.
Another thing that Michelle Obama said was that I'm still working on every day, waking up, looking in the mirror, and telling myself that I am smart and beautiful and kind and worthy. I don't think that ever stops for women, particularly women of color, because sometimes you don't always hear it back. Is that something you feel like you have to tell yourself? I have a hard time imagining Michelle Obama lacking confidence given everything she's accomplished and done.
I know, but you know, I wouldn't say that I say that to myself all the time. But my mother did instill that in me because I think she knew that the world would tell me otherwise. And there have been times when I've seen it in the comments when I used to look at the comments that I was ugly, that I was dumb, that I looked like a man. And those are things I think that in particular happen to Black women in this country. I can tell you I've gone to other countries and I'm like the Pied Piper. The men are following me around, especially in Italy. The Italian and Spanish men really like me. But it is something about being in this country, the attacks on what Black women look like, our hair, our features. And it tells you a lot that someone like Michelle Obama.
I was going to say, it's really kind of staggering, the idea that she
stunning
would... Yeah.
that she has to do that because of what this country does. Imagine what they did to her when she wore sleeveless.
I remember.
A sleeveless shift. And they also said that she looked like a man.
Yep.
There was a long-standing joke about that. And I think, and you're talking about a mother and someone's wife.
Yeah.
And if you look through the old photographs, as I do, of Jackie Kennedy, she wore sleeveless things, and that wasn't, unbecoming of a first lady. No. It was actually high fashion. And so, it saddens me.
Yeah, absolutely.
That she feels that way. I don't feel that way, but I think that's in large part because my mother always told me that I was smart and I was beautiful and all these things. And my father always said, you're beautiful, but lean into your brains.
Good advice, I think. Good advice.
Lean into the brain.
I try to tell my kids that too.
Absolutely.
Before we go, we asked this question to Joy yesterday. And it was from a young writer.
Her answer's going to be funnier.
Now, well, it's practical. So
okay.
It's from a young writer, and you're also an author. The question is, what's your advice for an up-and-coming writer who is fearful of having their work judged?
Oh, no. You can't fear that because you get some of the best feedback from being judged. And you want that feedback before you publish because then you're really going to get some feedback from people that read your book and buy your book. So I would say more on the feedback. Don't be afraid of it because you don't know everything. You can't be a perfectionist. And actually, it makes the book better. Manny actually reads all of my first drafts. He's ruthless with it. We've gotten into arguments about it. And then my agent reads everything. And actually, I'm writing a book about witches right now. And I turned it in and I was like, it's done. And he was like, what's the backstory of the boyfriend? And I was like, there's no backstory. He dies. It's fine. And he was like, is it though? And so now I thought I was done.
You're going back in.
I'm going back in. And actually, as I this happened a couple weeks ago, as I'm writing this backstory, the book is going to be so much better. So my advice is take as much feedback as you can.
Do you ever go back and read your earlier books? You've had so many now.
I don't. I've written 4 books. Actually, I will say Summer on the Bluffs is being adapted into a series.
It's exciting.
And I wrote it years ago. And so the showrunner is asking me questions
that
I don't remember
the
answers to. And so I'm like, and I have gone back and thought, ooh, that was good.
There you go.
I forgot that plot twist because I'm on to another book.
When we had John Grisham here last week, who I know you're a fan of
Yes,
too,
I'm a huge fan.
I love picking his brain about his books and going back. And
does he remember all of them?
It's funny. I mean, he doesn't seem like he needs to be reminded of things.
Yes.
And it's staggering because I think I've read his books more times than he has.
Yes.
I go back and reread things all the time.
Yes, I do too.
Comfort books that I go back to.
I do
and
too.
I just love.
But
it was interesting.
It happens because when you're writing, it's such a, I write 2 hours a night. So you're so in it and you're so focused and you give everything. And then for me, someone like me and someone like John, I'm not comparing myself because he's written like over 50 books, but after writing a trilogy and now I'm writing a totally new genre, I've left it. And I've spoken to Whoopi about it, and I don't think that this is dissimilar. I quote sometimes Whoopi's lines, and she doesn't remember which movie.
Oh, all the time. Yeah.
All the time. And it's because the project is over. She did it a couple years ago, and that's
Right.
it.
You and I have definitely seen Ghost more often than she has.
Yeah, of
There's
course,
no question.
of
And the color
course.
purple and everything else. She's
All
done.
of
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
all
100%.
of it. So I think that's what happens. But no, and I also believe this strongly. Everybody has a book in them.
I think that's right.
Everybody has a book in them that someone should read. I think you have a book.
I think I have a couple.
I think you have a couple. I
think I
mean,
have a
think
couple.
about it. You know, you've
Yeah.
had a storied career. I mean, from Letterman to The View, all this stuff. Montel
Williams.
Montel
yeah.
Williams. I mean,
Ricky Lake. I got
Ricky
lots of
Lake.
stuff,
You've got
yeah.
some good stories.
Yeah, I definitely do.
Imagine for someone that wants to be a producer.
No, I think I think about it every once
That's
in a
a
while.
really cool book.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something I would read.
Oh.
So I think everyone has a book in them, and
All
they
right.
should do it. I mean, when I write my tell-all about The View, from all the notes that I take during the Hot Topics meeting,
good Lord.
Joy actually told me to do that.
Yes, I know, I
Joy
know.
told me to write down what happens every day, and I started doing it.
Joy threatens me with a book all the time. So it's great. I need to have
When I write my
my book
tell-all.
in my pocket for when you guys release yours. The counterpoints. All right. On that note, thank you for joining me today, Sonny. Tomorrow I'll be back with Anna Navarro. She'll have a couple books in her too. And we'll see you then.